Hey everyone, this is Kyle from Money at 30, and on this channel we look at personal finance from a millennial perspective, although today I wanted to do something a bit different. Prior to much of the world's travel being halted, I ordered a pair of Allbirds in hopes of making them my go-to travel shoe. More specifically, I ended up opting for the Mizzles model that boasts a water-resistant treatment. As someone who abhors wet socks and yet frequently gets caught in the rain while traveling, I figured they'd definitely come in handy. So while I haven't had a chance to take them on the road as intended, I figured I'd still share a few thoughts about the Allbirds Mizzles. First, there are two styles of Allbirds Mizzles, a regular wool runner as well as a high-top version known as the runner-up. When I was originally looking at Allbirds, I was mostly interested in their now classic wool runners. However, that's when the Mizzles caught my eye. Notably, the Mizzle version of the wool runners come in at $20 more, but I figured it was worth it. That said, I was a little disappointed at how much more limited the color selection was, although they've recently expanded some in that department. On top of the regular wool runner Mizzles, Allbirds also makes a high-top version. I did consider this option, but the additional $20 price increase discouraged me. In hindsight, these may have actually been a better pick since they do offer more coverage and thus reduce the chance of your foot getting wet, but what's done is done. With the water-resistant aspect of Mizzles being the main selling point, I'm happy to report that this feature works impressively well. As I mentioned, I haven't yet had a chance to take the Mizzles on the road and into nature, but I've still found a couple of ways to test them. For one, I decided to simply stick them under my faucet and slowly crank it up. To my surprise, even with steady streaming water, no moisture made it into the shoe, and the remnants could easily be wicked away. I found similar results when taking them outside after a heavy rain and navigating through puddles. While I can't speak to how long this water-resistant treatment will last, for now, I have to say it does a pretty amazing job. As far as my experience with the Allbirds Mizzles goes, I do find them to be comfortable, although I do have a few things to note. One of the other reasons I eventually went with the Mizzles over the regular wool runners is that I read that the tops of the former were thicker. That's kind of key for me as I have a weird habit of tearing holes in my sneakers. However, as a result of this thickness, I definitely recommend breaking in your Allbirds before taking them on a trip, as I could see them getting a bit tight on an airplane otherwise. Also, while they are called runners, I wouldn't actually recommend running in them. Sure, you could do some quick jaunts when needed, but they don't provide the support or cushion you'd likely want when you're going for a jog. Instead, a short time after I purchased my Mizzles, Allbirds actually introduced a line of running shoes called Tree Dashers, but sadly these aren't water resistant. Therefore, you'll need to weigh the pros and cons to decide which model is ultimately right for you. Hopefully this gives you a better idea about what the Allbirds Wool Runner Mizzles are all about, but for more on the shoes, I'll have a link to my full written review in the description box down below. Also, if you like this video, while I don't do many shoe reviews, I do often talk about travel tips, so be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up for good measure. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time here on Money at 30.